Hey guys, Johnny from Ignite here, and this is a particularly special video. I'm about to give you my secret sauce on how to make your English analysis sound super sexy. So what is this trick and why do you need it? Well, why you need it is that specificity, which hint is going to be the secret, but I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it in a moment, is going to allow you to be more sophisticated, and that's going to help you stand out. That's going to impress the marker. It's going to make you sound a lot smarter without doing too much, except changing how you think about analysis. So specificity equals sophistication. So how can you be specific when you analyze something like a quote or a technique? Let me show you. We're going to play the word association game. So what I mean by that is when you have a word in a quote or you have a word that you use to label something with a technique, we want to come up with almost a synonym to those terms and try and use them in how you analyze those particular things. Now, that might sound a bit abstract. I'm going to show an example to make this very clear. It's pretty cool how it works, and it's a very simple thing that you can do to sound a lot smarter in your writing. So, how do you do it? Let's have a look at an example. It's a quote from Hagseed, which is by Margaret Atwood. If you're not familiar with the text, no need to worry. You can take it as a general example of how to do this technique. So, our reveleth now have ended, thief our act doth. So there's some kind of Shakespearean language going on there used by this character who is basically the modern day version of that character. And if you understand these texts, it's a comparative study and they are 400 years apart. So don't worry too much about what's going on here, but that's a little bit of context. The character is being reflected upon, saying, at the thought of it, even his lungs blush. If the words are not perfect, the pitch exact, the modulation delicately adjusted, the spell fails. So the character in this modern version of a Shakespearean text is basically thinking about how perfect his production of The Tempest, which is that prior text, has to be. And that's what's going on at this moment in time. He's having some anxieties about getting this performance right. So he's a theatre director in this novel. But notice here when we analyze this, there's a few things going on. There is a technique here where things are being listed, and hopefully you know what that's called, but if not, where we say if the words are not perfect, the pitch exact, the modulation delicately adjusted, that listing effect could be called accumulation, where we have these clauses, these parts between the commas, that are building on to one another, creating this momentum within the sentence. And it's important to keep in mind what's actually happening in those clauses. What's he actually talking about here? He's talking about getting all these different aspects of the performance right, otherwise the spell will fail. So I'm going to make a sentence of analysis. I'm going to show you what the whole thing looks like, and then I'm going to deconstruct it and show you exactly how I applied this special trick of word association to make it sound so sophisticated. So here it is. When reflecting upon his own production of The Tempest, and that's me putting things into context, the accumulation that Felix uses to insist that if the words are not perfect, the pitch exact, the modulation delicately adjusted, the spell fails, and that's me using the quote, emphasizes, this is the effect, Felix's nuanced appreciation of theatre and the requisite vocal skills to properly enchant the audience through its magic. Now, you might read that and think, wow, that sounds good. How did I actually do that? What did I think about to actually craft that all together, especially this bit in the analysis? I want you to pay attention from here onwards. I've clearly labeled the technique. I've given the quote where that technique exists. And then how did I choose to word everything this way? Well, let me show you something. When I've used accumulation, that's a listing technique, and that puts emphasis on things. So I've used the word emphasizes quite fittingly. That's very intentional. Because of the nature of the technique, I found that emphasizes or a word like accentuates would actually be quite appropriate there. So that's a very basic way of linking the verb of my effect with the technique. But let's go a bit deeper. What about these words? We said these are all aspects that he's reflecting upon, saying we have to get these things right to get the production of the play correct? Well, it emphasizes Felix's nuanced appreciation of theatre, because these are all things to do with theatre, but also the requisite vocal skills. Notice how specific I'm being here, saying vocal skills, when all those things that are being listed are vocal elements: words, pitch, modulation. So I've actually gone so specific into categorizing those things and then using it in the effect. And that's exactly what it looks like. So that was my thinking when I came up with that. The last thing is that he says the spell fails. And I'm then saying he's not going to be able to properly enchant the audience. Now, a synonym with spell is enchant. If you put a spell on someone, you have enchanted them. So I've literally just used a synonym of that and integrated it into the analysis. And I've also used the word magic here because of spell. But the key word there is enchant, and I've chosen that very deliberately. Now, if all that is a bit overwhelming, you can see what I'm doing, but you think, I just wouldn't think of that. Get practicing. You'll get quite good quite quickly just by making it conscious to yourself that if you can grab exact words from the quote and then use similar words in the explanation, just like I've done there and shown you, you're going to sound so much more sophisticated. So that's one of my top secrets for all of you to benefit from. I hope it helps. Please put it into practice. Give us some feedback if it helps, and subscribe to our channel so we can get more of these videos out to more and more of you. I'll see you next time.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching once again. If you are enjoying our content, and we hope you are, please do like and subscribe to our channel, and of course, share with your friends.
That's right, guys. Thanks for watching. But please do make sure you check out our very special resources. They're quite unique. We've made a whole bunch of state rank practical guides for all your English texts out there. So check out the link now at ignitehsc.com.au. Let us know what you think. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video.